Let's play coin or button or 2-cent piece. Well, that looks like a button. Greetings and welcome again to Drama in the Dirt. This week I will be bringing you a piece on the fishing reel. I happen to dig an oldie. It's solid brass. I think there's a patent number on it, so I'm going to try to bring that up and get some idea just how old the reel is. I think it's the first one I've ever dug. It's a whole one. I may have dug some pieces in the past, but I think they were more modern. Yeah, they were more modern reels. So I'm very anxious to share that with you. The relic thing is just, to me, is an absolute wonder, because somebody threw it down or they lost it, and it's just been lying there for years and years and years, and all of a sudden you bring it back to light. And for those of us that do this, I mean, we get it. It's an important thing to us. And to think the last person that held it in their hands maybe didn't even know who Abraham Lincoln was. Be sure to remember our schedule. Meet the Digger on either Wednesday or Thursday. Throwing recovered relic iron blades. I trust that you'll join for that. And then our regular episode on Saturday. So as always, God bless and keep you, and may all your digs make you smile. Okay, gonna get my gear. We need this here orange thing in the dark. The max. Don't forget your gloves. Grab your fines bag. Mine's about had it. 1966. And it was deep. Oh well. It happens. I got a penny out. I think it's 40s. You might be able to tell better than I. Just tell people you got a WHEATIE in. That's what I tell people. It's an old WHEATIE. Just say, I got a WHEATIE in. Little copper hasp. I know it's copper because of the way it rang, and then of course I hit it. I hit it there on the corner. That's pretty neat. I like that. First dig, a WHEATIE. Looks like an old one. Nice and green. Ooh, 1930 something. That's a 31S. I'm gonna have to call the squad. It's a 37 looks like. Are you on? The homeowner sold his, he lives back along lane, he sold his snowplow. His brother came and got it. You can see that. I guess they could only get it in just so the rear wheels were working, not the four-wheel drive. But I'm getting a solid 83 here. They kind of dug, you can see how they dug the ground where they hit the roots. And it's solid. Oh, what is that? The old ball lid. See if it's got the, yeah, the porcelain, it's cracked. Alright, it's been about 2 minutes. And it's a WHEATIE 41. Yep. It is so dry. It's like Sahara out here. A little bit. That rang solid. I don't know why. Didn't sound like that. Could be the shape of it. Yeah, we got another. It's all over the place though. Maybe it's another bit. There it is. Yeah, that's what it was. Several jar lids. Not much left of that. Oh, we found the sister to the other buckle. They won't have to live their lives alone. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. Rest of the harmonica just a few feet away. I got a bit of that. Yeah. That pull you along. Hook that on his jaw. Mind everything you did. Plenty of stuff for the iron garden. Look at the size of that nut. There it is. But it gives off a heck of a tone. This is a 9091. Will it make a fool out of me? You're seeing it live. Guama in the dirt. That thing's hard as a brick too. See if it falls out. Oh. Right next to a utility pole. It's one of those clamps those guys use to fasten wires together. That ringed up real nice. No, it did. Ringed up. Ball bearing? I think so. Alright. Paperweight. There's a sweet old Wheatie. 13. I don't know what that is. That's a part of the lid to a planter seed tank off an old one. We used to have something like that. Let's play coin or button or 2-cent piece. Well, that looks like a button. Oh yeah. 2 piece. It's missing the other piece. It actually sounded louder than that. There's something else down in there. Oh look, that explains it. There's another one. And there's the bridle rosette right there. So it's all the tack off the horse's bridle. So we got 2 of those. Oh, this is a great find. You get the little digger. This is cool. Rounds like rock. Right in there. All right, there's the final tally. There's the rosette. And then there's a button. Another one. Another one. Another one. With the leather. Looks like it still has the leather on it. And then another one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts to the bridle. I am elated. A brief history of the fishing reel. We take reels for granted nowadays, but they have only become a standard feature in anglers' kits relatively recently. And even now, their use isn't entirely universal. A reel is there to store line and to help play the fish, but using one isn't absolutely necessary. As anyone who has read Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea will know, You can catch the largest fish that swim with nothing more sophisticated than a hand line, as long as you are patient and have plenty of sea room. So for thousands of years, anglers did without reels and didn't find it much of an inconvenience. The Chinese probably invented the first fishing reel around 300 AD or 400, but until the 17th century, the only evidence that anglers used them was in art. When a professional fisherman called Barker let it slip that a winder was used for playing larger fish. Until then, anglers either used a horsehair line that fixed to a rod tip, or more rarely a running line fed through a loop at the top tip. By the late 18th century, anglers were using wide spool, narrow, arbored brass winches, which were made all over the country by jewelers, clockmakers, and jobbing craftsmen. They were attached with three different methods: a spike, a circular clamp, or a foot. Like a modern reel, they can be further divided into direct drive reels and early multipliers. Multipliers were among the first angling gadgets. Many fishermen bought them, and because they allowed a much faster retrieve, sooner or later playing a large fish would grind the teeth off the short brass gears because the metallurgy wasn't up to it. All early reels had one thing in common, which was that they had narrow spindles. As you can see in the illustration of the spike foot reel above, this was one of the reasons why fishermen persisted with multipliers. Once a fish had run most of the line off the reel like this, you are left at a huge mechanical disadvantage. The obvious solution is to increase the diameter of the spindle or arbor. It is amazing to think of it. This leap of imagination took place only 150 years ago, though it took another century before the concept made its mark on the fly fishing reel. Until the mid and 19th centuries, anglers used the same reel for everything they did, whether it was floating fish, trolling, or fly fishing. But then a gradual specialization began to occur. This is the time when the descriptions fly and coarse fishermen began to use by anglers. Welcome to the show. We're glad you're with us. I'm sure you'd rather be here than in the best hospital in town. Or they didn't know who Herbert Hoover was. Herbert Hoover, you know, he was the 29th president. Well, it's Herbert Hoover, not Herbert Hoover. Herbert Hoover. The wash machine going. Had to wash the dog's bed. Somebody had a little, tummy issue. Meet the digger. I knew that. I'm going to have to put a dry erase board up. I think that's a good idea. I like those. I have one. Only thing is I accidentally wrote on it with permanent marker, and you just can't get that stuff off. It's impossible. I even tried Bonami, and it wouldn't come off. Can you sing? How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. Ain't no Engelbert Humperdinck, am I? No Engelbert Humperdinck? Most of our audience doesn't even know who Engelbert Humperdinck is.